So today we want to talk about our May food plot questions, even though it's June 2nd. I apologize. We're just running so far behind here. We've been so busy. We've been so blessed with so much work, so much orders. We've got some food plot consulting to do this month. So we're running behind, folks. So bear with us. It is June and we're going to do the May questions. So number one, May food plot question. Will Simozene kill weeds? No, it will not kill weeds. It is a pre-emergent, meaning you spray it on the ground for the switchgrass and a little bit of it for the HD screen. Once those plants are up and growing, Simozene will not kill weeds. Now, Roundup is just the opposite. You have to spray Roundup on a growing weed. We've had the question about Roundup on bare ground with Simozene. Roundup will do nothing on bare ground. It has to be attached and sprayed onto an actively growing plant, just like clethodim for grass, just like 2,4-D for broadleaf. Roundup, clethodim, 2,4-D are to be sprayed on growing plants. Simozene is to be sprayed on ground that is bare or slightly bare before or right after planting switchgrass. Number two, where and when do I get a soil test? Well, as far as the where goes, I've talked about them a lot. I really like Rock River Labs. It's a very simplistic soil test. It's easy to read. They're in Waterton, Wisconsin, located between Madison and Milwaukee. I believe they've got a downloadable kit on their website. I think the last time I checked, their soil test kit was $9. And they're not trying to push you into planting recommendations. I know there's some seed companies out there that have their own soil test kit, and it's 2 pages of, it gets very confusing. To me, I just want to know what the soil condition is. That way I can make the recommendations for A, the planting, and B, the inputs that are going to be needed. So I don't want a recommendation for, 18 different seed varieties. Just give me the soil test. That's all we ask for, and that's what we get with Rock River Labs. Really like them. When do I do a soil test? You can do a soil test up here in the situation is anytime the ground's thawed, which just happened to be last month. So you can do a soil test when the ground is thawed. However, you have to do it before any input is added, whether it's lime, fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, any kind of inputs are added. That's when you do the soil test, because if you do it after recently adding inputs to the ground, it is going to skew those numbers. So I personally, if we're doing the 3-strip method, 3-strip planting system, where the brassicas are going to go, I usually pull that right before the brassica planting, right before we start working that red clover under. That's when I do my soil tests. And if we're doing a property that doesn't have the brassica on it, we're going to probably do it. I think we've got a bunch of soil tests coming up. So we haven't added inputs yet, but anyway, make sure you do it before any inputs are added, or probably give it 5 or 6 months after inputs are added. Number 3, for my no-till friends, you might want to go take a break, go drink some coffee or have a beverage because you're going to pull your hair out. We get asked a lot, do you like a tiller or do you like a disc? I like a tiller because I can set the shoes, the depth of the tiller blades in control. I like to till one pass at about 1 inch deep. Now we'll have a video on the discussions between tilling and no tilling. We've done it before, but some of the properties we're working on are no till just because of the rock and the ground. But when we're doing our 3-strip system like we do back behind the house here, I do run 1 tiller pass. Now, there's nothing wrong with the disc if you can control it with the PTO height or the 3-point on the tractor. We've done that before as well. But when we're running either one of these, it's very shallow and it's not very often. So I personally, if you have not bought one of these implements, you're looking to buy one, I like a tiller. I really do, because you can control the height. Now, again, our no-till friends are probably pulling their hair out. You shouldn't, I get it, trust me. But one thing, folks, understand, I do a lot of driving, whether it's picking up seed, visiting clients, delivering seed, doing some food plot consulting. And this time of the year, right around Memorial Weekend, and then right after the 4th of July, it seems like there's, and I just call it iron, there's iron everywhere, on tractors on the back of trailers, equipment on the back of those tractors. Okay, there is a lot of people doing tillage for food plots. And what we try to do is we try to help people minimize the soil disturbance. And when we till, all it is one, to terminate the red clover, two, to prep the soil so we can get the big seeds buried, okay? We don't have a no-till drill. We've got a grain drill, and sometimes with the amount of clay, the heavy clay in our ground here, like right now, as dry as it is, we can't penetrate that clay with the grain drill, so we might have to scratch the surface up a little bit. But anyway, back to the question, I like a tiller much better than a disc behind my tractor. Number 4, can I plant the HD screen right now in this drought, or should I wait? Okay, you know, it's very unfortunate. It's not just Michigan, it's not just the Midwest, it's the whole gosh darn country that seems to be in drought right now. Very low rain. We were talking to one of our dealers down in Arkansas. They're in dry conditions. Had a customer in Missouri, very dry conditions. Here in Michigan, I don't remember the last time for the month of May we didn't see a drop of rain here in the UP. And in April, we still had snow here. In May, it's stopped. So it's extremely dry here. And checking the 10-day forecast out to the 12th, there's not a drop of rain in sight. So the question is being asked dozens of times a day. We get this question, can I plant the screen now? I don't see rain. What do I do? One thing with the HD screen, it's a heat sensitive planting. It's not like a 90-day corn or a 100-day corn or something like that. We're going to hold off for most of our HD screen plantings till probably the end of June. And as hot as it is now, it's 80s, that ground is warming quickly. So when the seed is in the ground and the ground is hot, it's going to jump out of the ground really quickly and grow very fast. Pending, you got the fertilization right, you've got the weed control taken care of. So what I tell folks is if you don't have rain in the next 10 days, we're still in early June. June just started. Just wait, okay? But, that's also going to hinge on your personal life, your time. Are you renting or borrowing equipment for a weekend? Can you still get that equipment 2 weeks from now? Your planting schedule. What is your schedule like? Can you afford to hold off 2 weeks to plant that? No, there's a lot of folks down south that have it in the ground. We're getting pictures of germinating food plot screen already, down in Kentucky, Tennessee, Illinois, southern Illinois. We're getting pictures already of the screen coming out of the ground. So what we're going to do, and what I tell folks, is just wait for rain to show up in the forecast. It's got to come back, okay? So that's what we're going to do. If you have to plant it, make sure the seed's buried, make sure the seed's covered, and it should be just fine. But, we're into that window. We're into the planting window here in Michigan right now. And to me, up here in the UP, the drop dead date is July 4th. And the reason I say that, you'll still get a good screen if you plant after the 4th of July. Now, again, I'm in the top part of the country. Our planting season and growing season's not as long as, say, southern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, Tennessee, Kentucky, because we'll get frost late September, early October. So our planting window, planting date is a lot shorter. But after the 4th of July up here, we'll still get a good tall screen. But what happens is that thickness, that stalk diameter, and the backbone in that screen starts to become affected to where it might not be as strong in December as we need it. So you've got a couple of weeks yet. Just kind of watch that 10-day forecast. And once you start to see rain, in that 15th, 18th, 20th, 25th time frame, then you're going to want to get the seed in the ground. So I would say probably by June 20th, you're going to probably want to start looking at planting. So that's what we're telling folks. You can hold off. It's not the end of the world. I'd rather you plant it too late than too early. Number 5. This one's kind of interesting. We've been asked this a lot. We had a gentleman here yesterday picking up a large seed order, and we had a conversation about this, and he was asking me the same question. So I thought, well, we'll put it in the May questions. What's going on at Northwoods? All right. It's no secret that we parted ways with one of our partners last year, okay? But I want to reassure people and let them know nobody has our blends. Nobody's taken our blends. Nobody's taken our recipes and is putting their name on it and jacking up the price. That's not what's going on, okay? What they're doing is their deal, all right? And everything that's under the roof here in Menominee, Michigan has been here since 2010. We still have our same great producing partners. We've got the same recipes. We've got the same great seed blends. Everything's the same here at Northwoods Whitetails. We've got a bunch of great new seed blends coming. We've got a bunch of great new partners we're working with in the habitat industry. We're very excited about our future and what's going on here. We got our crimper program started. We're still working on supply issues with our deer stand. We've got the prototype built, but now we've run into window supplying issues. But a lot of really cool stuff here. We actually had a contractor here quoting us in addition because we are starting to bust at the seams here on our new building, and the fact that we have had this building over a year now and we're starting to run out of room is quite amazing, and it's because of great folks like you that trust us, trust our products. But again, nobody's selling our seed with their name on it. That's not what's going on. So I hope that answers questions for me, folks. Thank you, everybody, for asking these questions and inquiring about our products, planting techniques, and just showing interest in Northwoods Whitetails. So we should be back in a couple of days. We still have part 2 of our food plot program video, and we've got, we're actually, even though it's a drought, we're going to do a video pretty quick on how we plant our screen here at the house, so that's coming up next week. So thanks for watching, folks. Thank you for helping the channel grow, and we'll see you in a couple of days.